All right, so we got Mercury in Aquarius retrograde. It just started today. So it seems like our air signs can get a break. All you Aquariuses. And of course, before you know it, it's going to be Gemini. It's going to be Libra again. But also, this Mercury in retrograde is going to also affect Capricorn too. So you guys going to get a little bit of inch of that too, just because you're right there with that semi-sextile. So it's basically going to bring some minor frustrations your way too. Also, you already know that Pluto is in Capricorn, so you guys are already going through transformation at that point, and you already see society itself going through transformation. You also even got the planet of Saturn in Aquarius. So this basically bringing burdens, it's bringing a tear down system. And of course, this is building a new system, a new way to basically bring structure in your life, and of course, get situated with how you associate yourself with the publics or dealing with individuals on a totality. Now, we also got the Mercury squaring Uranus at the moment. So this is basically bringing mental conflict when it comes to gaining stability, when it comes to gaining security, when it comes to gaining structure, when it comes to being organized and of course fixated and practical. Mercury in Aquarius is going to bring mental changes or to feel the need to basically do that. But being that Uranus is in Taurus, is already bringing some changes in there. Taurus hate changes. They love their safety, they love their comfortability and security. So it's basically bringing tensions and conflict. So it's going to be a whole lot of unexpected shit going on right now. So wherever you got Aquarius at your charts, this is going to be past previous ghosts or unexpected changes or rebellious energies that you're going to basically be prevailing. Now, it's up to you to basically cope with these energies, use these energies for your own benefits, and of course, not put yourself into a low vibrational state by saying, oh, it's a retrograde again. Yeah, you got to actually use retrogrades like your bitch. I mean, you got to use the planets like your bitch, because if you ain't using it like your bitch, you're going to get used like a bitch, and you don't want to get used like a bitch. Feel me? You want to make sure that you are put into a position where you're basically in cahoots and making sure that you're taking care of what you need to do. Now, also, with this Mercury in Aquarius, it's going to be situations when it comes to technology. It's going to be situations when it comes to your TV, your phone, how you utilizing your electronics and things like that matter. There could be some scuffles in that area, and of course, so be very aware, be very cautious. Make sure you're saving your files and things like that matter. Making sure you're doing a little reboot system, and of course, clearing out your cache and things that matter. It's going to be some differences, some technical difficulties here and then, but make sure you are programming your technology. This is what you should basically be doing every day. You should be programming your whole entire surroundings. Never put yourself into a situation of just walking in your surroundings. For me, you got to make sure when you walk in that shit, you got to talk to that shit like a bitch too. Everything got to be a bitch. Even females, I let y'all know that I make sure everything is a bitch in your life too, female. But we're going to basically get into the houses of where you have Aquarius at, how this is going to affect you, and what you basically need to do on this point. So we're going to start it off with the first house. So now, if you have Mercury in Aquarius in the first house, this is a personality that's going to be put into pursuits. You're going to be basically the prime example of what to do. You're going to be the leading force, which means you're going to be basically the leader when it comes to this Aquantis, aka when it comes to this 3-week process. Now, if you have Mercury in Aquarius in your first house, watch out. You're going to be basically dealing with unexpected ghosts when it comes to personalities that you're related to in the past. It's going to be either rebellious energies that you're going to be basically dealing with when it comes to your personalities, or basically this is going to be past personal ships that you basically developed previously. Now, past groups, past associations, or past goals, or unexpectedness, or rebellious energies is going to be basically coming into your personality. Now, it's going to be past friends that you basically dealt with, or you got personal with, are going to basically be popping up during this time. Make sure you're putting yourself into a situation of, if these individuals are not with you and they're not personally invested into what you got going on as far as how you gaining your uniqueness and your originality, and of course how you conducting yourself when it comes to your personalities. Make sure if these individuals are not on game time with you, that you basically need to be basically going to the draw board and of course setting some boundaries and restrictions there. Because Saturn is there, you need to set some boundaries and restrictions and limitations when it comes to these individuals, allowing them to come back in your life with some access. No access denial when it comes to this shit. For me, make sure these individuals don't come back into your life. And you're going to receive rebellious energies when it comes to your 7th house, which is the opposite sign, which is your Leo sign. So be aware of that energy. I mean, so you may have to set certain boundaries and restrictions when it comes to relationships right now. For me, you got to weigh the scales. Clear out anything that don't no longer belong in your personality right now or your personal life. Go ahead and basically move on from that situational issue. Now, when we come down to the 2nd house in Aquarius, this is basically going to be past unexpected groups or value systems or responsibilities that you basically valued previously. Also going to experience some past transformational values during this time too. So be aware of that shit. So you're gonna be basically dealing with shit that the shit that you was clinging on to in the past are gonna basically be popping up during this time. For me, when it comes to your value system. Also, you're gonna be going through some transformation here. Now, if it was needed to be transformed, if it was needed to be let go, try not to basically bring life into that energy right now. Right? That's like trying to basically dig a skeleton out of the grave and try to basically bring it right back to life. For me, the flesh is going, everything is going, everything is ended up. You gotta learn how to move on. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna experience this shit when it comes to your 8th house, when it comes to your dark hidden desires and shit that you was basically doing behind closed doors. Leave that shit alone. Let that shit go on. Let that shit be moved for me. Set some boundaries and restrictions and limitations when it comes to your 8th house. This way, these shits won't basically be cherishing when it comes to your 2nd house. And when this retrograde shit over, you can basically move on and freely without no issue. Now, if you have Aquarius in the 3rd house, this is going to be unexpected environment situations when it comes to siblings, unexpected associations, or unexpected friends that you basically dealt with in your environment gonna basically be popping up, especially ones from the past. See, when it comes to this area, you need to be very cautious and aware of who you basically associate yourself with when it comes to your environment, your surroundings. You could be attracting rebellious people in your environment, weirdos, or aliens, or strange situations in your environment. Be aware, be cautious about this shit. What's going to help you is you basically setting certain boundaries and restrictions and limits when it comes to your 9th house. Because, for me, you can't basically be bringing these individuals when it comes to your environment and your 3rd house, say your 9th house. Because, basically, they're not going to be in your best interest. If they're not pretty much on the stage of working with you towards that house, then you need to go ahead and set certain boundaries and restrictions and limitations when it comes to your surroundings and your environments, or you need to basically oppose and change in that area. So be cautious of that area, too. You got Aquarius in the 4th house. This is going to be unexpected changes when it comes to your home, your privacies. You're going to be basically developing weird family, or you're going to be basically expecting past situations or past shake shafts when it comes to your home and family and shit. You may have issues with your family, something that would previously, these previous ideas may basically pop up, or these previous situations might pop up. So be very cautious and aware of this area that you're dealing with. But you're going to be going through some minor changes when it comes to your home and your family. So what you basically need to do is you need to put yourself into a situation of focusing on your 10th house. Setting certain boundaries and limitations and restrictions when it comes to home, family, and privacy, and make your way towards your 10th house so you can be free with not too many burdens and shit. But you're going to be going through a lot of power and control issues when it comes to home and family, ups and downs, so be aware of that area. Feel me? Now, if you have Aquarius in the 7th house, this is going to be like, what the fuck? You have Aquarius in the 5th house. It's going to be basically unexpected changes when it comes to your creativities, your talents, and of course, things that you are entertaining on a day-to-day basis. What's going to happen in this house is it's going to be some weird talents or weird gifts or weird hobbies that you basically are going to be basically experiencing during this time, for me, or weird inner childlike energies, or probably weird children or some shit. So be aware of that energy, be aware of that situation, for me. Also, put yourself into a situation of, if these talents or these things that was previously entertaining you or not entertaining you no more, don't allow these things to basically pop back up. I mean, because you're gonna have all kind of creativities and talents gonna be talking to you right now on some weird shit. You know, Aquarius be on that weird shit. So be very aware of that shit. You're gonna have some weird creativity talents that's basically trying to make its way back into your life. Weird ghosts at that, that's trying to basically be reborn again. What's gonna help you in this situation is your 11th house, the public, and things that matter. You need to set certain boundaries and restrictions and limitations in your 5th house so you can basically be free to express yourself when it comes to the groups, your acquaintances, and how you associate with the individuals in the public or the unknown. Now, if you got Aquarius in the 6th house, you're going to be going through some unexpected changes when it comes to your health, things that you're doing in the routine, of course, past routine, past situations that you dealt with in the past could basically be popping up right here. You're going to may experience some unexpected changes when it comes to your health, when it comes to your coworkers, or when it comes to your work routine or your work ethics during this time, for me. You may deal with some opposing energies. You may deal with some weird energies, or you may basically deal with a situation that happened previously. What's going to help you in this situation is you focusing on setting boundaries, limitations, and restrictions towards no longer serving or working with you in your 6th house and making your way towards your dreams, your imaginations, of course, looking at the bigger picture on a bigger horizon. And that's going to basically get you out that situation. Now, if you have Aquarius in the 7th house, this is going to be unexpected changes when it comes to relationships or past previous relationships, or it's going to be dealing with some rebellious relationships, or it's going to be basically dealing with some weird relationships, weird individuals that you fucked with in the past, or weird individuals that you basically are a partnership with yourself with. Going to go through some changes around this time. What you basically need to do here is set certain boundaries and limitations and restrictions towards individuals that you previously fucked with. Make sure these individuals don't have no ways to get through that motherfucker. Make sure you build that wall, that wall with Trump, that Trump wall. Build that Trump wall around the 7th house. Make sure these individuals don't get in. Make sure they don't have no access to your shit. Feel me? Because it's gonna help you when it comes to your 1st house. You may have to be very selfish and of course self-centered when it comes to this area. And that's what you're protruding you to basically be doing this time. This way you can basically be moving forward, no issues, no burdens. Now, if you have Aquarius in your 8th house, this is putting you into a situation of dealing with unexpected desires or unexpected changes when it comes to your desires, your passions, or you'll be basically attracting some weird desires or weird experiences or some rebellious energies. AKA, you may have to just get it on fast type shit. Feel me? You may be very aggressive towards your sex desires or your sex passions right now. This is going to be past experience that may pop up or past individuals that you got personal with. Could be basically trying to rush you. So what you need to do here is set certain boundaries and limitations and restrictions towards shit that's no longer working for you. And you need to put yourself into a situation getting on your 2nd house, getting stable, getting practical, and having patience in this area. Also, Uranus is in Taurus too, which is bringing that square. So you need to develop patience in this area for me. Everything gotta basically be. You ain't gotta get that person pregnant today. For me, you need to have patience on this time, and that's gonna work in your favor. Now, if you have Aquarius in the 9th house, it's gonna be unexpected changes when it comes to your morality, your spirituality, or your experiences in life. You may basically put yourself into a situation of doing something that you never did, or you may deal with some unexpected ideas that you basically dealt with from the past, leading to your spirituality or your higher intellect or your higher purpose and shit. That may basically be popping up right here. Now, if that helped you, go ahead and basically take some of that and go ahead. But if these shits didn't help you and these things was in a situation of basically were burdening you, then you basically need to put certain limitations and restrictions towards your experiences with these energies. And what's going to help you is your environment, your surroundings, and shit like that. Feel me? Getting comfortable in that. Getting comfortable, making sure your environment, your surroundings is free and clear, so you won't basically be cluttered with all your 9th house energy. It's where it won't be a situation where you're going through a root cause during the sun. You don't want to experience that. You want to be free to express yourself and shit when it comes to your surroundings and shit. That's going to basically work in your favor. Now, if you got Aquarius in the 10th house, it's going to be past unexpected business associations or business goals that you associated yourself with. That's going to basically pop back up for me. Maybe basically be dealing with past ghosts when it comes to your 10th house, or weird energy when it comes to your 10th house. For me, you need to set certain boundaries and restrictions and limitations in these areas. You're also going to be going through some changes, or you're still going to be going through some changes in this area too, because this is Taurus ascendant. So you're going to go through some unexpected changes when it comes to your career, your status, and of course, higher being developed what your status is looking like in the public. You need to set some terms. You need to set some boundaries and restrictions and limitations in this area. For me, you need to set some boundaries, restrictions, and limitations in this area when it comes to your 10th house. For me, and you cater towards what's making you private, what's making you comfortable, what's making you, nurtured. For me, pray to that energy. Don't be a workaholic, because you may put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to your 10th house, and then of course you may lose it all when it comes to home and family. Try to be free and light during this time. And last but not least, when it comes to Aquarius, Aquarius in the 11th house, you're going to be basically going through some past unexpected trauma when it comes to the public, when it comes to the unknown, of course, when it's going to come to associations that you basically dealt with in the past. It's going to be past trauma that's popping up to you, or you can be basically pushing out past trauma that you experienced with these individuals. What's going to happen is you need to set some limitations and restrictions towards how you conduct yourself in the public, or what you're thinking about when it comes to the public endeavors. And try not to put yourself into a situation again, caught up in that loop. And what's going to help you is your 5th house, your creativity, your talents. If you can focus on that, express that more, and be free from any burdens or restrictions in that area, you'll be all right. You'll be able to actually go about your way. Last but not least, if you have Aquarius in the 12th house, there'll be unexpected changes when it comes to past dreams, imaginations, and of course fantasies and illusions. You can basically be dealing with some past ghosts, some rebellious ghosts, some secret enemies and shit like that could be basically popping up in this chart. So be very aware and very cautious of what you're basically dealing with. You're also gonna have hope, faith, and luck in this in this house right here, for me. So if you can basically put yourself into a situation of working on your 6th house, being practical, being consistent, being organized, and of course taking care of your health, you'll be able to actually free smoothly with this transit, dealing with this Mercury in retrograde house. And you want to basically get your ass washed up somewhere in the motherfucking moon, the moonwalk. Feel me? When it comes to the Mercury moonwalk, you want to get washed up in that area, and that's basically going to be the energies when it comes to Mercury in retrograde. When it comes to the houses, dealing with your ascendants. And yeah, keep your mind light. Make sure you meditate, clear your mind. Make sure you're in a situation of not putting too much strain on your goddamn mentality.